Hi, welcome back to BESIG Online. I'm Mike Hogan and I'm here with Anne Hodgson.
Yep.
Welcome, Anne. One of the things that Anne has decided she'd like to tell us a little bit about is the difference or the difficulty in applying for a talk to give a presentation on BESIG. You generally need to do it about 6 months in advance and then have a good plan for what you'd like to speak about 6 months later at the conference. But unfortunately, it may not always be possible to speak about exactly the same thing because the world changes.
That's right. Life happens.
Yeah. So what happened in your case, Anne?
Well, we moved. That was one thing. And a couple of courses that I was going to base my talk on cancelled.
Right.
Right. So there were a couple of things that I had to rethink. And then I learned a lot about teaching in the meantime as well. So originally I was going to present these task suites. So things that you can do using Web 2.0 tools that you can then upload to your course site and you can use as teaching materials.
Right.
And I found out that I actually prefer using these Web 2.0 tools for ad hoc feedback, so that my students are producing things, so it's emerging in the lesson, they're producing stuff that they need, that they're interested in, and I record it and I create things in class with them.
With them, okay.
So they're smaller tasks. I'm very much for the small is beautiful sort of a task.
Right.
So you're working on very, very focused skills, and you're improving by mini increments, and that's what I'd like to focus on. And I'd like to do it as a problem-oriented, problem-solving sort of session where everybody comes in and says, "Oh, and my student has this, and what tool can I use for that?"
Great. That sounds great. And so these tasks that they're doing during the lessons, when you say you record it, are they doing it online in an online environment?
They don't necessarily record any place outside our classroom.
Right.
So these are web tools that have speakers, and then they've got various computers we've got lined up. We're online, or they've got little handheld devices, and they're using these apps. And I'm giving them feedback on their recordings, or they're working on them, so they're listening to them, so they're saying, "Hey, this is interesting."
Right.
And there's actually a term for that, and that's called deep tinkering.
Deep tinkering.
Deep tinkering is very magical.
Yeah,
right?
it sounds good.
You're trying to figure out what makes language work and what makes me work when I'm in a communicative situation. And you're thinking about, what am I doing? You're reflecting, you're recording, you're giving feedback to other people. And so it's not just fiddling around, and it's not publishing, because many of my students don't want to be on the web.
Right.
We're in Germany.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And so they don't really need to look at it outside the classroom or outside the room. But what they do need, they need to understand how these tools work.
Yeah.
So they need to practice using the tools so they can go home and practice themselves. And then they might store it on their computer, or they might send it to me as an email attachment, and then we can go through it again. I'm doing this with my distance learning students as well.
Right. That sounds fantastic. So I guess to summarize, unfortunately, the people that are coming to your talk tomorrow are not going to get what they think they're going to get, but they're going to get something even better and more up to date. Yeah?
Hopefully.
Okay, great. Well, fantastic. Okay, thanks a lot, Anne, for chatting to us today. I hope the talk goes really well.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
It was nice seeing you again.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you too. Exactly. And goodbye to everyone who's out there viewing as well. Hope to see you in person next year.
Yes. Bye-bye.